Hi, Jeff. Thanks so much for joining me for this conversation today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Really looking forward to speaking with you as part two of our pre CSCA podcast series, where I am able to be joined in conversation with you and others who have been hard at work behind the scenes putting this conference together for us. For a little additional context for listeners, my name is Abbie Van Meter. They probably know your name, maybe not mine. I'm the host of the Stories Live, Stories Told podcast for the CMM Institute. And I'm excited to be conducting these conversations. And I'm really looking forward to, the buildup of these conversations I'm getting to have with you and Christina and others lead me then to speak with the participants of this conference to say, okay, I've gotten to talk to the people who created this event. Now, what are people experiencing? So that's something I'm really looking forward to doing in person when we all gather in Minneapolis. But for now, Jeff, I'm really excited to hear about your take on this upcoming conference and what your experience has been as the president this year of CSCA. So to start, would you mind introducing yourself just briefly and sharing, what is something you want people to know about you as we go into this conversation and this upcoming gathering in April?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, listeners of the podcast. My name is Jeff Child, and I am currently chair of the Department of Communication at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and president of Central States Communication Association. And I guess one thing I want people to know about me is that I love working on behalf of the membership and helping people have opportunities to get together, to engage in diverse perspectives on their practice, research, teaching, and service so that we might be able to adapt to all of the national and disciplinary initiatives and things going on related to higher education right now.
Mm-hmm. I think that gathering piece is important for so many of us. I know for me, my work is almost exclusively virtual since I work with a kind of international community. And
Yeah.
Zoom is a wonderful tool. It's amazing to get to connect to people you wouldn't otherwise, but I know being in person is something particularly special. I'm curious about in your role as president this past year, what does it mean to be president? What kind of pieces? I just talked to Christina, who got to come up with a theme of Translate for this year. What's your role behind the scenes as president?
Yeah, so my role as president is really to help us continue to be effective and function long term as an organization. And so my role is everything from we have our most recent executive director, Deb Ford, who was encountering some health issues and had to step back from that role, and Tiffany Wang, who's fantastic, who you have already spoken with or are going to speak to,
Yep.
agreed to continue to help us in an interim role. And we have a search going on now where those applications are due by the 15th for leadership. So it's everything from how can we ensure the continuity of leadership? How are we utilizing our financial resources effectively? How do we plan the convention and think about future conventions?
Mm-hmm.
And in particular, as we get ready to go to Minneapolis, we as a leadership team have had our eye on things going on the ground there and making sure that our members are safe and comfortable to convene and meet. And so, we really keep an eye on things to do anything and everything we can to make sure that we get an opportunity to have a productive and fruitful convention, and that this association will continue to be a beacon of collaboration and perspective taking and engagement for members of the discipline who come and participate and in the family-like environment that we have at CSCA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense and leads me into a kind of different take on the next question. I, knew I wanted to talk to you about the upcoming conference and what your take on it is, what your hopes for it are. But now, understanding that you're kind of taking this bird's eye view for CSCA, you're looking at, the longevity and the sustainability of it. I
Yeah.
wonder if I maybe, kind of want to tweak that question to be like, okay, thinking about zooming out and considering past years, future years of the conferences, what is your perspective on this upcoming conference? What are you hoping for out of it? And what other contexts are you kind of keeping in mind as we look towards this next event?
Yeah, what I love about CSCA and what I'm hoping for, I think Christina has done a great job with this theme of Translate, and it is so timely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at how institutions of higher education are dealing with a downturn in student populations, 18 to 21-year-olds long term,
Hmm.
and financial issues, and thinking about how we are engaged in the communities where we work and serve the
Hmm.
public, and what does it mean to be innovative and cutting edge and to helping people in terms of the variety of professional goals that they have that they come to universities for. And I think the conference gives us an opportunity to think about our research and our teaching practices. And with this theme, how can we translate those, particularly what I'm hoping to see people have deeper insight into the sort of pressures that we have now? How can we help with more workforce readiness, with skill development, with thinking about the ways that we function in universities and supporting the general mission, but also helping people with how they can use the theories and concepts and principles that we teach in a variety of ways. And I think the convention gives us an opportunity to compare situations and
Hmm.
perspectives of things that are being tried. And so my hope is that we come to the convention, we have great dialogue, and we return better teachers, better researchers, better community citizens. And how do we make the states and the universities and colleges where we serve stronger and better and more resilient long term?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is the question to be asking, that we're living in a world that is changing so quickly, and that, as you said, that question of translate is very poignant. Not just how do we translate research or scholarship into practice, but
Yeah.
how do we translate our knowledge and our ways of being into new and evolving ways of being that match the needs of people right now? Because I've always felt like there's so much rich information. You could call it knowledge, wisdom, practice.
Yeah.
You could call it many things, but just at a very basic level, so much rich information in our field that can help people, just beyond academia. And so I've personally really connect with this idea of translate as well. So I'm curious about how you connect with the idea of translate, outside of this being the upcoming conference theme. What's your practice of translating been?
Yeah, for me, I've had my head in this a lot as an administrator at my university because we're
Right.
being asked to translate what beyond research and teaching and practice, all of that, what the state needs from us and how
Hmm.
the university can be innovative in that. And I think we have different communities of practice. And so, the issues in one situated part of the country are different from another. But I think a common concern right now in this current administrative climate is what is the value added and benefit to a college degree?
Yep.
And we as university citizens can be more proactive at translating what do we do and how does this have
Hmm.
incredible value over the lifetime of an individual, of
Hmm.
gaining more time, improving yourself and understanding how you interact and understanding research and how we can bring that to organizational functioning. And so for me, I think I get excited about those. And I think we are in a period where higher education, we have a lot of opportunity for growth with AI and how that's changing the workforce and the centrality. There's report after report that in a lot of organizations, effective communication practices relating to one another, solving problems, not being polarized, are critical issues we see in society
Hmm.
that are preventing people from advancing in ways that we can. And so I think we have a lot to offer
Yep.
as discipline to the sort of current moment. And so I'm hoping, with this theme of translate, that people take it in a variety of ways and
Hmm.
we're able to come together and problem solve. Like, how are you meeting the challenges of the day? What are you doing? How are you trying to be more innovative? I
Hmm.
certainly see the whole spectrum of that in our university. There are some people that are scared to death of AI and don't want to use it all, and others are like,
Yeah.
we need to teach and train our students how to use this as part of their information gathering communication process to be innovative and perspective take better. And so that's
Hmm.
just like one example. There's all other different kinds of trends that we should be ahead of, but we should translate what is needed now in terms of how are we functioning and be even more innovative in advance of providing business and industry and practice what they need from universities instead of being critically questioned about like, what is your utility? What is your role?
Hmm.
How is a college degree
Hmm.
helping you? And us as research and scholars and, practitioners that understand communication theory and the impact that it has, that's on us, right? To be
Right.
bringing those perspectives to the enhancement of everyday life and work life and all of that.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think it's true also that our community knows, even more than others, that we can't take for granted that people have the knowledge, the tools, the language that we have. And so, in so many ways, we're sitting there just like, put me in, coach, to our administrations and our whatever spaces we may find ourselves working in to say we have something valuable to offer here. So I'm hearing that message from you. I think a lot of people will resonate with the same way. Jeff, as we wrap up, just one fun question to end on. I'm curious if you have a favorite memory from a past Central States gathering you want to share.
Yes, for me, my favorite memory is and when I finished my degree, well, 20 some odd years ago. I mean, like I've been coming to this conference, was the first conference I attended. It feels family-like. And as I finished my graduate degree, I came as a advanced undergrad. Anyway, but when I finished my graduate degree and was coming, it feels family-like to me. I used that when we started out. My favorite memories really are reconnecting with colleagues and people who we have spent a short period of time together and we are dispersed across the nation and we get to reconnect, reaffirm our friendships, our connections and our experiences and to better one another. And that's what keeps me coming back to
Hmm.
Central States is the fact that I know the people that have made this their disciplinary home will be there to challenge me, encourage me, listen to me, and support me. And I hope our new scholars, our new attendees that are beginning their journey or wherever you're at, that this place and space can be a safe venue for you to continue your own personal and professional development and to check in with those people who have set you on a trajectory and will continue to be by your side as you pursue the goals in higher education. So as I reflect back, for me, my favorite moments aren't necessarily in panels.
Yeah.
It's people and the reaffirming of relationships and the perspectives. I always come home from Central States enthused, jazzed, re-energized, ready to go for the challenges internally and externally that I face where I'm at.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jeff, thanks so much for sharing your stories today. And everyone listening, thanks for joining us as well. We hope to see you in Minneapolis in April 14th through the 19th. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you there.